In 1714, in a sleepy market town in North Yorkshire, a respected and newly married shoemaker by the name of Daniel Clark suddenly vanishes. Gone. Simply declared missing. For the next 14 years, the case was cold. Then, an unsuspecting farmer unearths a human skeleton. And just like that, the investigation was back on, and the finger of blame landed on the most unlikely suspect. Today, we are exploring the life and crime of Eugene Aram, the man who would become the Victorian prototype for the scholar murderer, paving the way for literary villains like Dr. Jekyll. This is After Dark, and here is the most infamous cold case in British history. Hello and welcome to After Dark. I'm Anthony.
And I'm too busy taking a sip of tea.
But she's Maddy. And for some reason I'm very upbeat today because we're back and we're doing some true crime history. This is one of the earliest true crime cases that we've covered. And you should go back and listen to one of our favourites, Sarah Malcolm, very early on in After Dark, of course.
Classic. That's like After Dark lore, that is. If you've heard that
After Dark Day One,
you're a proper fan.
However, Dick Turpin I do not remember, but it says in my notes that he's in there.
Yes, and before we came on I was saying that we need more hot highwaymen in our lives.
Hot highwaymen. Anyway, this I could barely say it once. This is a cold case story, which we've not actually really done before. We like to have answers or solutions at the end of our cases. So this is an interesting one for us. It is also potentially a really confusing one because we've got two timelines going on. We've got the story of Daniel Clark, which Maddy's going to tell us when he goes missing in 1744.
Spoilers.
Here we go. And then And then we're also looking at 14 years further down the line in 1758.
Well done with the maths.
Thank you. It's in my notes.
Yep.
When the mystery is finally solved and the skeletons, yes, more than one, are dug up and a murder is noted and then there are arrests. So this then turns out to be a closed case. But is it actually a closed case? Maddy, give us the bare bones of the case. Oh my God, I winked at the camera. Cut that. Or leave it in, whichever.
Please
but
leave that in.
Terrible. Okay.
That will be the opening shot of every video we ever do. If you watch on YouTube. If you didn't before, you got to now.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I think you've just given the bare bones, essentially.
Perfect.
So we are we're beginning the story in the 1740s and 50s. We're in Knaresborough in Yorkshire. Have you ever been to Knaresborough?
Sure, why not? I have no idea.
You know Yorkshire really well.
Not Knaresborough, I don't. But I could have been there.
It's got a huge, I want to say viaduct. I'm thinking it's an aqueduct. I think the canal goes over it. There's the River Nid that goes through it.
I haven't been there.
It's beautiful. Right, we did a whole episode on Mother Shipton's cave.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember her, the prophetess?
I've seen the signs for it, yeah.
Yeah, and the cave water, all the minerals turn things to what looks like stone and people hang things. They still do, like teddy bears and shoes, and they turn to stone.
Haven't been there, but yeah.
It's a really magical place. So
Daniel Clark.
Murder in Yorkshire. So we're in the 1740s and 50s. This is the age of enlightenment that you and I are always banging on about. The rise of the Jacobites is taking place in this period, 1745.
Your favourite TV show? Outlander. Is it your favourite TV show?
Yes.
Okay.
And I know it's flawed. I know that
I don't know if it is because I'm
sometimes inaccurate, but I don't care.
No.
It's wonderful. It's sexy.
It's got lovely people in it, yeah.
Yeah, it really has. Here, the 1745-6 uprising that culminates in the Battle of Culloden. Ever heard of it? We have the 7 Years' War happening, 1756 to 1763, which is the French-Indian War. There's loads going on. Basically, there's loads of fighting. This is a time of violence. But it's a time of smaller scale violence in the small town of Knaresborough. So this is a rural town in North Yorkshire. It's not far from Harrogate.
Oh, I know Harrogate, yeah.
Yeah,
I've
Harrogate.
been there. Stayed in a terrible hotel there once.
Oh, shout out to the terrible hotels of Harrogate.
Which it was.
It's a very Victorian Edwardian place,
Yes,
Harrogate, whereas
yes.
Knaresborough is not. Knaresborough is has a much older feel to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I need to go there then.
I can't believe you haven't been.
Yeah,
I feel like you'd love it. Okay, so as we've established, we have Mother Shipton's cave. That is not the only cave.
Okay.
Although, I will say, it is the oldest tourist attraction, supposedly, in England, and the cave was not charging. People in charge of the cave were charging people to go into it since 1630.
Mother Shipton's cave?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So there's that one. There is also, and this is important for our story, so there will be a test.
Listen.
Another cave. Yes, listen, please.
Yeah.
There's another cave called St. Robert's Cave. Now, St. Robert is not an officially canonized saint.
Right, he's one of those.
But he was, one of those sort of local people who everyone loved. He was a holy man / hermit, which good for him, I guess. I always think that'd be so boring.
People just did it for the crack, like they were, especially in the 18th century. But this is not an 18th century hermit, obviously.
No, this is a much 12th century. He was born around 1160.
Okay,
and he was kind of famous for healing people. The cave became associated with healing, with health, with this
good old
kind
Bob.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Saint
Nice,
Bob.
nice Saint Bob.
Now, Bob is one person that we're talking about, but we probably won't mention him again.
Spoiler alert, he's not the murderer in this story.
But Bob is not who we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about Daniel Clark. We're in 1744, not 12 anything. So who is Daniel Clark?
Okay, so Daniel Clark is a youngish man. He's recently married. He's a shoemaker and a businessman in Knaresborough.
Would I fancy him? I have a feeling I might.
I think based purely on the name, yes.
And there's some reason shoemaking.
Oh my God, you would. That's your perfect husband.
Is it?
Sorry, Shane.
No, but
shoemaker.
Sure. Yeah.
I can just see you swinging your little feet.
My feet are quite big.
Okay, fine. Swinging your
11s.
big feet. Are they?
Yeah, my dad's 13.
No.
Yeah. Anyway,
Okay,
sorry
wow.
we digress.
Wow, humble brag there.
About my dad's feet.
Your dad's.
That's niche.
Okay, moving
Go on,
swiftly on.
Daniel Clark.
Okay, so he has married well. And he's recently come into some money through his marriage. And he's started to buy up the kind of accoutrements of the 18th century that you do if you want to seem more middle class. So he's buying things like silverware, he's buying jewellery. But he is outliving his means fairly quickly. Remember, he is only a shoemaker, as much as you might fancy him and being married to someone of that trade. He's not earning a huge amount of money, and pretty soon he's buying a lot of this fancy stuff on credit. And then in 1744, he disappears.
Okay, so we have somebody who is maybe getting themselves into a little bit of debt or quite a bit of debt, but there's no reason for him to be disappearing.
In the community, like as we say, he's married, like newly married as well.
Got a trade.
There's every reason in his life to be cheery and hopeful.
Then we have another name which I would like you to extrapolate on, and this name is Eugene Aram.
Now, I hate myself for this, but I would fancy this guy.
Okay, go on.
Oh, God. Okay, so he...
From now on, we need episodes where at least one of us is attracted to somebody in the story.
If we're not, we don't care. Write in with histories of people we would fancy. Okay, so he's the schoolmaster in Knaresborough.
Okay.
He is a self-taught scholar of languages and ancient histories. He's very intellectually gifted. But do we trust him? Apparently, I don't care.
I'm imagining a Ben Whishaw type.
Yeah, straight Ben Whishaw.
Straight Ben Whishaw, yeah.
Ben Wishaw's very attractive, but wouldn't find me attractive.
No.
So we want a straight Ben Whishaw.
Yes.
So he's born in poverty, interestingly, and he teaches himself Greek, Latin, Arabic, Celtic languages, Hebrew and French.
Bloody hell.
And more languages later down the line as well. So he's very, very gifted. He's very clever. He spent time in London as part of his education before returning to the north where he was born to become this teacher. So he's kind of like a local boy made good, right? Like he's really gone and made something of himself. He is married as well. And he's described as being married, unfortunately, which...
that poor woman.
Yeah, I know. I think the inference there is that he got her pregnant.
I see.
That's why they're married.
Okay.
So it's not a particularly happy relationship. And we're going to hear from his wife in this story because... she's not a fan of Eugene.
Oh, she's not.
No,
Eugene,
she. He doesn't treat her particularly well, but like, she's not a fan. Now Eugene, unlike Daniel Clark, is in serious debt.
Oh, so more debt now. Okay.
Yeah. So it's not Daniel Clark's debt. This is Eugene's.
No,
debt.
I know, but they both have debt.
Yes. Everyone's got debt. It's the 18th
Everyone's got
century.
debt, yeah.
But he is in serious debt because he's too busy learning like
all the
Hebrew or
things.
something to actually like earn an income. Now, just before Clark disappears.
Yeah.
Daniel Clark, who you fancy. Eugene is getting into really serious debt and his arrest is imminent. Now, before he's arrested, Clark does disappear. And this is a really key
Are these two people in any way connected that we know at this point in the story?
So we know that they knew each other.
Okay.
And they potentially spent some time together.
Okay.
A schoolmaster and a shoemaker, they're sort of... Obviously, one is much more well-educated than the other, but they kind of sit, I guess, in a similar strata
broadly,
in that society.
yeah.
Broadly speaking. It wouldn't be unusual for them to be friends, and they're similar age, etc., etc.
Right.
In what is a small town. So they would definitely have known each other.
Yeah.
So Clark disappears, Daniel Clark. Now, people come to arrest Eugene Aram for his debt. They go to his house, they burst in, and they're like, pay us the money. He says he doesn't have it, so they're like, okay, we're going to take your belongings then. As debt collectors do. when they go to take his belongings, they notice he has a lot of the stuff that was previously in Daniel Clark's house.
Oh.
Yes, but that doesn't necessarily mean that a crime has been committed.
No, but it's weird.
It's certainly weird. Yeah. People are suspicious. Obviously, everyone's talking about the disappearance of Daniel Clark. Where's he gone? Who's going to clothe our feet from now on? Who is Anthony going to fancy? This is a disaster.
Who is Anthony going to fancy?
I should say that would be the best TV show. Yeah. Like just exclusively set
a
in
reality
18th century
TV show.
Knaresborough.
Yeah.
Who in this tiny North Yorkshire town in the 18th century is Anthony going to fancy?
Like, not him. No,
Get
still
off,
wrong.
next one. Oh my God, there'd be like 3 people. That would be it.
Yeah, I'm very picky.
You are. I feel like you are very
Painfully,
picky. Yeah.
Are you not? No, I said, are you not? I didn't say you're not. I said, are you not?
I'm just free and willing. Oh my God. No, I am, but I don't really have a type. It's just weird.
Yeah.
I'll just suddenly be attracted to someone. I'm like, oh, that was a surprise.
Oh, now we're married. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yes. No,
Eugene.
that is what happened. Okay. So what happens next in the story that we are focusing on?
Yes. So Eugene, okay. Daniel's gone missing. Eugene's arrested for debt. When they go in to arrest Eugene, there's stuff in his house that they're like, this belongs to Daniel or did belong to somebody. And now he's arrested.
So before they can take him into custody, he flees. He flees the town. And he leaves behind his wife and the child that was probably coming before they got married as well. So his wife, Anna, her name is, she's left behind and she is fuming.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, because he's the source of income. He has married her after getting her pregnant. Like she, didn't necessarily, that wasn't her first choice of life, but that's the circumstances they both found themselves in. And now he's liked it, basically. So he goes back to London initially. Then he goes to Norfolk. Have you ever been to Norfolk?
No.
Norfolk's lovely. The Norfolk coast, beautiful.
This podcast is turning into places in the UK where Anthony has not been.
Yeah.
But that's fine.
It's nice. Although saying North Norfolk just makes me think of Alan Partridge, so let's not do that. I love this. This is a note in the script here that during this time when he's on the run, he teaches himself 3 more languages.
Bloody hell.
I love that for him though, like priorities.
Yeah. People want me in jail. I want to learn more languages.
I just need to speak more languages, which are going to come really helpful in mid 18th century rural Norfolk. Yes. I'm going to meet so many people that I can converse with in these different languages. So around 1750, he settles in Norfolk in the port town of King's Lynn. And just becomes a grammar school teacher again. So, I mean, inevitably, that's his trade. He has all that education. He's learned 3 more languages.
Not hiding, though, in a way. I mean, obviously, he's away from Knaresborough, but like,
position in that society.
If they come asking, he's going to be clear where he is.
Yeah, exactly. And he manages, for the time being, to live a relatively respectable life. He writes a book called A Comparative Lexicon of European Languages, which...
Same. Yeah, no, I don't have time.
I mean,
you fancy him less now.
I fancy him less for that. I can just imagine. Can you imagine like being married to him and he's like, how was your day? And you're like, oh yeah, it was good. I did this. And I'm like, how's your day? And oh my God, I just realised as I'm saying this that this is my husband Matt's life. When he comes home and he's like, what have you done today? And I'm like, well, I wrote this one paragraph about this really specific thing in the 18th century. And he's like, kill me now. But, he's kind of living the life of a scholar. He has this respectable job. And you could imagine in this period, without technology to trace people, without, any kind of real ability to know where he's gone, that he could potentially get away with just living there, being the schoolmaster. He could live out the rest of his days in King's Lynn. It's a very rural place in this period.
He's gone to King's Lynn. Do you know what I mean? Like that.
Nobody knows.
Yeah, you might as well search every town in England to find him. So it's, it could be effective.
Exactly. But it is not going to be the end of the story. He is not going to get away with whatever he has or hasn't done. Because remember, we don't know.
If that was the end of the story, this would have been one of the worst episodes we've ever done.
Yeah, man learns 3 more languages and lives in Norfolk.
Moved to a different town. Oh, great.
Great. Okay, so now we're jumping to 1758, which you said at the beginning
this is the jump then, right? Yeah.
Was 14 years later. Yes.
Yes, and it is. Still is.
Congratulations to me. So we're back in North Yorkshire again. We're in Knaresborough. It's 1758 now, and a farmer is digging stones up in his field because you don't want big stones in your field because you need to be able to plough and they get in the way.
Yes.
You're looking at me as someone from rural Ireland, like, bitch, I know this information.
No, I really don't know this at all. But yes,
I much farming. Your family have animals and stuff, don't they? Like,
they did used to like a generation ago, but not now, on both sides, but not now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Would you ever fancy being a farmer?
Like in a Instagram type of way, but not in an actual hard graft
You'd be
type
like
of way.
on TikTok in the tractor.
Yeah.
Like, hi guys.
Yeah. No, I
Come with me while I do this
aesthetics,
plowing.
yes.
Yeah.
Reality of getting up at 5 a.m, absolutely not. No.
Yeah, I'd be like a late rise. My farm would have like a different schedule. I'd just train all the animals to
10
get up at
a.m.
like 10 a.m. Yeah. Or the cows would be like, I'm ready to be milked now at midday. Yeah.
And not by
absolutely
you,
not.
somebody else.
Oh God, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yes, aesthetics only. And like I would enjoy having like the farm kitchen and like doing all the produce
all
and
of that,
stuff. That'd be great. Yeah, fantastic. The farm shop. That'd be great.
Oh my God, you are building an empire on your farm.
Yeah, move over, Jeremy Clarkson. Okay, so this farmer is digging stones in his field and he finds, drumroll, a human skeleton.
So this is the first of more than one skeleton. I actually don't know how many we're about to encounter, but this is the first of more than one.
Yeah, well, we're gonna have two in this story, but this is the first one.
Back in Knaresborough, farmer in the field, getting ready to plough, and he gets up a skeleton.
He gets up a skeleton. Is it Daniel Clark?
I don't know. You're in charge of this episode, is it?
Well, it could be, but
Okay.
it also might be anyone else from the whole of history.
Fair
Because
enough.
there's not really a way of telling
date
in
it at
this
point,
period.
yeah.
Um,
But it's a skeleton, at least. We know there's no... is there going to be clothes on this skeleton? Because if there is, then that would
Well,
help date it. But okay.
I don't think there is. I think it's just there's nothing recorded to say that there are any clothes
Yeah,
or anything
yeah.
like that. And it's this is 14 years later, so he's whoever this person is, whether it's male or female, we don't know, has decomposed enough at this point, or maybe has been in the ground for 2 centuries. At this
Yeah.
point. We just don't know. But this raises an interesting point for me, which I'm so obsessed with. And at some point, I'd love to write, I don't know, like a series of short stories. There's not enough for a book here, but something about people. It's a really grim topic, but people who are buried in the landscape that we just don't know about across
yeah.
history.
I think
You
you've said
think
this
about,
before.
folk songs from the 18th and 19th centuries talk so much about the murder of women in particular, and them being buried by lovers who've murdered them in hedgerows, on the edge of fields, that kind of thing, in unmarked graves. And we're going to get this a lot in this story, and it just makes you think about that British landscape in this moment and how dangerous and visceral and haunted it was.
Scary.
Actually. Yeah.
So I'm still not getting what this discovery of a skeleton has to do with anything we've talked about so far. Well, no, because it could be Daniel. It could be Daniel, but we don't know.
We don't know, but the people of Knaresborough were like, oh my God, it's Daniel Clark.
Ah, I see. So whether it is him or not, they're like
it's
he went
Daniel
missing and
Clark.
now we found him.
Yeah, and they're like,
okay.
he was definitely murdered by Eugene Aram because he legged it, and so therefore he must be
I
guilty, and he did have
see.
his
This
things.
is how it's joining up, right?
Yeah, so this is how it's joining up. So all the rumours are kind of swirling, like all this from 14 years ago has come back, and people are like, where did Eugene go? Do we know? Cut to Eugene's estranged wife, Anna, who's left behind.
Unhappy
Unhappy.
for 14 years.
Yeah,
Oh God, she's got a 14-year-old now.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
sorry, that was just more maths from me.
Congratulations. She comes forward and she says that she last saw Daniel Clark 14 years ago at their house with Eugene in the early hours of the morning on the day he disappeared, which, by the way, was the 8th of February, 1744. So she just comes forward 14 years later after this skeleton's recorded. She's like, I'm going to get my own back on Eugene, you bastard, you left me. So she says, not only was Daniel Clark in my house, but another man as well. Dun, dun, dun. And this man is called Richard Houseman, and he is like another pal of this group of friends. Houseman is a labourer, and he has been seen repeatedly drinking with Eugene 14 years ago. So they're kind of friends. They'll go out for a drink together. Just men of a similar age in the community, right, who know each other. So Anna says that all three men were in her house that night, the night before Daniel disappears, and that all three of them go out around 3 a.m., but only Eugene and Houseman come back.
Okay.
So that's pretty condemning evidence. Don't know why she's suddenly started to say this now.
Yeah.
But she does.
It's condemning if we believe her. And as you say, 14 years of a gap, why is she saying it now? And is it all very convenient that a skeleton's just been...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is she getting revenge, or is she like kind of spooked by the skeleton resurfacing,
true.
and she's like, oh God, I've got to tell the truth now. She also says that when they got back to the house, they were burning some clothes in the fireplace.
Okay. So naked skeleton then.
Naked skeleton, that answers your question. And then she also says, and this is where I'm like, Anna, don't overkill here. She's like, and then I heard them discussing whether they were going to kill me as well.
Oh, she's lying.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it's like, Anna.
Yeah.
Like, just chill. Why would your husband suddenly murder you?
Too much detail.
It's too much. Richard Houseman still lives in this community. He's the only one because, of course, Eugene's fled. Clark's dead. Like, the town goes around to Houseman's house, brandishing one of the leg bones of the skeleton from the field.
Grim.
And they're like, "This is Daniel Clark. What do you have to say?" And he says something super weird. And like, this is the beginning of people in the story saying really weird stuff where you're like, that's not a normal reaction. He says, "This is no more the body of Daniel Clark than it is mine."
No, see, that I get it. I can imagine it. It's kind of like, that's no more the body of Daniel Clark than it is mine. Put it in an Irish accent, it makes sense.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Everything makes more sense in an Irish accent.
Even though he's not
But
Irish.
I do think it's like a slightly weird thing to say, not like, "I didn't kill him, that skeleton could be anyone, it's nothing to do with me." He's like, "Well, that's not his body." It's a bit like...
I think it sounds a bit sarcastic to me, where he's like, "Lads, come on to yourselves. There's no more his than it is mine. Now get back to your houses and get out of my door."
But
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he is taken for further questioning because people are like, we actually do need to find out what's happened here. Like, this is...
There is a dead
not,
body,
Yeah, like, there is a skeleton. And he's put into questioning, and he actually confesses to being present. He says that Eugene did kill Daniel Clark and that Richard Houseman was just stood there watching, was not involved, and was like, "Whoa, guys, let's stop doing this."
I hate when people kill each other.
Yeah, but he then says that is not the skeleton from the field.
Amazing.
And people are like, "Okay, you've dug yourself one hole, and now
we're going to have to dig another one."
Yeah, like, what exactly? Oh, he's like, "That's not the skeleton because I know where the body is."
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Actually.
Where is the body, Anthony?
Okay, so the Bob's Cave.
Bob's Cave.
Yeah.
It's in Bob's Cave. He's like, "St. Robert's Cave, we need to go there. That is where the skeleton is." So the whole of Knaresborough shuffle off to Bob's Cave, and they find inside a skeleton.
So it's just been lying there for 14 years, not really that concealed. Well, who knows? It could be quite
it could be like squished right at the back, couldn't it? You know, when you get like sort of earth deposits of like animal mess and things, like, caves always hold bones, right? Like, some of the most ancient bones on the planet have come from caves, right? So I think, not to give anyone tips out there, but was one to get rid of a body, I think a cave might be a good place to put it, although it would preserve it for a long time. That's the only thing. Yeah. But I feel like it holds its secrets quite well.
Secrets.
Dun, dun, dun.
Caves hold secrets quite well. That's hilarious. Okay, go on.
Oh my God.
Right, so we have now two bodies, one of which in Bob's Cave we know is Daniel Clark.
Yeah, we don't know who the other one is.
We don't know who the other one is. I don't know if anybody cares at this point because they know that Daniel's there. This is 14 years after the fact. They have Houseman. He's part of the local community. Yeah. I presume now they're going to want Eugene.
Yes, they do. And they do track him to King's Lynn. Apparently it's easier than we thought.
They waited. They were like, "God, we really need to find him."
Yeah, where's he gone?
We'll wait till the body turns up.
Look on LinkedIn. Oh, he works at King's Lynn Grammar School now. Let's get there. So some people did know that he was there. Maybe Anna knew. I don't know if she'd had contact with him. Like, it's a bit unclear. But a Yorkshire constable goes all the way down to King's Lynn and arrests him in August 1758. My question is he arrested in front of his whole class? Because I love that as a scene.
Stinger.
Yeah. Oh, when you're just trying to be authoritative and telling some little kid off who's got snot going down his face, and then it's like, "Oh, you've been arrested for murder." Yeah. Bit awkward. He's taken all the way back to York Jail to await the assizes and his trial.
Okay.
Have you ever been to York Jail?
I have, not inside, but outside.
Oh, it's really great. So for anyone who hasn't been, it's kind of, in this day and age, it's a kind of courtyard, and there's a sort of a 18th century building with these two wings, and one was the women's prison, there was a debtor's prison. I've spent a lot of time there in the early 19th century, not personally, but for my next book, one of my people ends up in there. So I've done a lot of research into it. It's also the place where Dick Turpin is held before he's killed. So personal anecdote sidebar. Once on a night out as a student in York, this is an interesting story that involves two very beautiful Swedish girls and an act of violence. So weird.
Okay.
Buckle up.
Yes.
I know we're running out of time, producer Freddy, but we're having this anecdote. Once on a night out, I'd been with a group of friends. All the boys of the group had befriended these two very beautiful Swedish girls. They were like ethereal beings who were 7 foot tall. What they were doing in York, we don't know. They were gorgeous. They all went home together. Oh. Good for them. Fantastic. And I was walking home with my then boyfriend, now husband, and we were walking back. We were both a little bit drunk, and there was no one else around. We were walking past this exact point where the prison is, and you're looking at me like I'm going to say a ghost thing, and it's absolutely not going to be that.
Okay.
And it's also where the hangings would take place. We walked past the exact spot where the hangings take place, and we hear this voice behind us, and there's this guy who's really, really, really drunk, and he starts trying to engage us in conversation, and we're like, no, sorry, mate, we're not interested, whatever. And he gets increasingly annoyed, and then out of nowhere, he steps up to Matt and headbutts him in the face. Matt falls on the pavement.
Stop it.
Broken nose. He's unconscious for a second. This guy legs it. And I'm like, oh my God, what's happening? So I phone my friends who've gone off with the Swedish girls who are like further down the road. And I'm like, oh my God, Matt's just been headbutted in the face. This is terrible. Matt's like semi-unconscious at this point, like on the floor. Anyway, the next thing he remembers is coming to on the pavement with these two beautiful Swedish girls being like, are you okay? And he's like, yes, I'm fine.
And the name of the man who did the headbutting was Richard Hausman.
Was Richard Hausman.
No, not really.
A police car came past and saw us all covered in blood, stopped, took us to A&E. We waited there for 7 hours, at which point we got bored. And because Matt was still drunk enough, he went to the toilet and snapped his own nose back into position.
Ooh.
We stuck a tampon up it to stop the bleeding, and that was the end of that. And his nose still clicks to this day. And we never found the guy who headbutted him. So if you're out there, I will get you one day.
That's weird.
Yeah.
What
a weird story. But it was in this exact spot that we're talking about. So there we go.
So on headbutt location, we are back up to Yorkshire. We're in York. He's being held in York prison, and he being Eugene.
Him being Eugene, yes. So he says, I didn't do it. It's nothing to do with me. Daniel Clark's just disappeared. This is irrelevant. If Richard Hausman says that's his skeleton, maybe you should be looking at Richard Hausman as the killer. Like, it's nothing to do with me. My wife's lying. Richard Hausman's lying. It's all nonsense. And he says also, he's like, well, you've got two skeletons, but they could be anyone's. And he's like, I think this is fascinating. He says, well, recently, on the grounds of an MP's house in Knaresborough, 6 skeletons were found. And nobody's accusing him of mass murder.
Basically, there's a shitload of skeletons everywhere.
Yeah, which is so interesting. And it points to as well, like, just the rich archaeology of this period.
It's actually quite clever
right?
too, right? It's like going, so you have a skeleton?
Yeah, and he's like, that MP's got 6 skeletons in the garden. Like, it doesn't prove, you can't identify who they are realistically in this period. He has, like, the skeletons have no clothes on them, no way to identify them because the clothes were burned, of course, if you believe Richard Hausman's story. And this, I love this quote, and I just think this just really speaks to me, and I'm going to make you read it. So these are the words that Eugene Aram says at his trial, and it's just the second blue quote. So these are the words that Eugene Aram says at his trial to the judge, and I just think they're so poetic and interesting.
Okay. I'm going to do a Yorkshire accent. Oh, God.
Oh, heck.
Okay. Oh, heck. My lord, almost every place conceals such remains. This has gone Lancashire already.
Yeah.
In fields, in hills, in highway sides, in commons lie frequent and unsuspected bones. My lord, must some of the living be made answerable for all the bones that earth has concealed and chance exposed? That's Lancashire.
That's Lancashire.
Yeah.
You've crossed.
So
crossed over the hills
if
pal.
anyone wants to cast me in anything with Sarah Lancashire,
set in Lancashire.
It's set in Lancashire.
Then perfect. Not anything in Yorkshire ever.
Apparently not.
Okay, well, you've absolutely butchered that. But I do.
Basically, he's saying
there are skeletons everywhere. Yeah,
this
and I just think that's such a clever defense, and so does the judge. He calls this ingenious, and I think this is again like Eugene Aram. He's a little bit
Eugenius Aram.
Oh, he's kind of he's charismatic. He's intelligent. He's showing off all of his kind of book learning.
I have a PhD, and I just looked at you with glee in my eye and said, Eugenius.
You did look really proud
Aram.
of yourself.
Oh, God, I despair. Right, go on. Right, so now he is. Wait, so he says he's ingenious, but they still find him guilty.
Yes, so the jury are like. Might
ingenious
be ingenious,
it may be,
but
not that ingenious.
He's guilty.
Okay.
So he is found guilty and he's condemned to death. Now I think this is really sad and probably quite common of the time. So he's due for execution on the 16th of August, we're not in the 16th century. He's due for execution on the 16th of August, 1759. And the night before, in his cell, he gets hold of a straight razor and he opens his veins and does attempt to take his own life. But he is stopped. The bleeding is stopped. And the next day he's hanged at York's Tyburn, which was a little bit outside of the city. So later on, the hanging is moved back to just outside the prison, which is the headbutting location. Yes. But at this moment, it was just slightly outside on the road leading out of York.
Been past there, yeah.
Yeah, it's got like a little plaque and stuff. It's a classic thing to go and visit. Now, he leaves some letters written in his cell before he goes off to the scaffold. Eugene does.
Yeah.
Now, in one of them, he says he did do the murder.
Oh.
Which, like, Eugene, we've been chasing you all over the country, mate.
Yeah.
You've had time to learn all your different languages. Like, intelligent, resourceful, an easy, quick learner. Why has he not legged it to somewhere more safe?
Yeah.
Like, why has he just been chilling in Norfolk where people know where he is? He could have got away with this. It's just so frustrating to me. The other thing he says is that Daniel Clark, the reason why he killed him is because Daniel Clark was having an affair with Anna, his wife. Which, maybe she just really liked shoes.
Oh, well, we're all a slave to footwear, but I do have a question. I was in my head going, there's something going on between Anna and Richard Houseman.
Yeah. Well, maybe there was as well, right? I mean, she certainly didn't like her own husband, so...
No. But either way, he's dead.
He's dead. And an interesting, fun little fact is that his head was preserved, and I believe still is, in King's Lynn Museum. So it makes its way all the way back to Norfolk.
Oh, so it's there now? Well, potentially.
I guess so. Yeah. If you are part of King's Lynn Museum, if you've been there recently and seen the head, let us know, please.
DM us.
It must be in the collection still, I guess.
So we said this as two different timelines. We said we had 1744, we had 1758. But then there's this resurgence on a third timeline in the Victorian era. And I can so imagine this, like, headlessness,
the skeletons
the
in mystical
ground.
Cave.
Yeah, it lends all the things to Victoriana, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. And as well, you've got this, what I think is interesting about the Victorian reiterations, and it becomes this kind of like melodrama almost, and it is, there are kind of epic poems written about him. I think there are plays as well. There's one published in 1831, which is technically just before Victoria comes to the throne, but in the same decade, called The Dream of Eugene Aram. And, it's all kind of quite mystical stuff. But what's really interesting is that Daniel Clark isn't the hero of this, as the wronged party, the person who's killed. That Eugene himself becomes this kind of like troubled Byronic hero who's like, he was just too clever for this North Yorkshire provincial town, and he kind of came
there ain't nobody more clever than Yorkshire people.
Exactly.
So don't fall for that.
Well, you are married to one, so you would say that.
Oh,
but
yeah, that's true.
I've lived there for a long time, and yes, I would say that is accurate.
Canny people.
Yeah, although you have offended all of them with the accent.
Right. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah.
Or maybe it's just you've offended the people in Lancashire.
Yeah, probably that. Yeah.
But yes, absolutely. He becomes this kind of interesting figure, and there are kind of all these poems about him being, when he's working away as the headmaster in King's Lynn, thinking he's got away with it, and he's like this tortured soul, and he's doing these big walks, thinking about all his intellectual pursuits, but also haunted by this crime that he's committed. And he becomes a kind of like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde type thing. He is a murderous monster on the one hand, but then this kind of scholar as well. So you can see why the Victorians take it up. But I think what's so interesting about this is, like, it is a cold case because, yes, he admits to the murder, but does that necessarily mean that he did do it? I mean, I think he probably did based on the evidence that we have, right? But Richard Houseman also was clearly involved. Which is interesting.
If he hadn't written that letter, I would have been like, he did not do this. But then he wrote a letter to say that he did.
But then he also tried to take his life the same night. So who's to say what mental state he was in and what he was capable of admitting to, or, how he was thinking clearly or whatever.
Or if it's like, in terms of his intelligence, if it's like a literary flourish before he goes, he's like, I'll admit to this and I'll go down in history then as this kind of thing. I don't know. We're slightly romanticizing that as well, because
it's
that's
easy
very
to do,
19th
right?
century.
Because he really lends himself to that.
Yeah.
And also, who was the other skeleton in the field?
Yeah,
and who were the 6 skeletons in the MP's garden? Like, that's a scandal waiting to happen.
There are skeletons all over the place. But I do like that as a form of defense. It's very interesting, very poetic, actually. And in that sense, this is why you can see that he morphs into this other thing. Very interesting. Thanks for that, Mads. I I don't think I've ever called you Mads in my entire life. Have I?
You definitely have on a regular basis.
On a regular basis.
There was
Okay.
pure panic on your face
well,
there.
no, I was just like, who am I and who is she? The world doesn't make sense anymore.
What's happening?
Listen, if you enjoyed this episode, and why wouldn't you? And in the comments on either our socials or on Spotify, where there's a comments section, which I've only discovered recently, by the way, and enjoying hearing all your comments. Go on there and tell us if you think Eugene Aram is a guilty man or if he's just this kind of weird Machiavellian
And also
thing.
tell us which one you would have fancied.
And also tell us which one you would have fancied.
Most importantly.
And didn't you say that like he's like one of the inspirations for Moriarty in Sherlock Holmes or something? Because that's Andrew Scott, and talking about people that one might fancy.
Who does not who on this planet would not fancy him? Yeah.
Anyway, this has been...
That's an off-air story.
Oh, no, I do.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I think he's a very attractive man. Sorry. This is a weird dating profile now, which I'm not available for. God, what's happening? If you've enjoyed this episode, you can leave us a 5-star review wherever you get your podcasts. And if you happen to be Andrew Scott, you can drop your number in my DM. No, don't.
And if you live in Lancashire or Yorkshire, we can only apologise.
Mostly to the Lancastrians, that's
Just
the one.
Just stop talking.
Okay, thank you. Listen, we'll see you next time where I won't be doing accents. I can't make any promises though.